Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be looking at the JVC Videosphere, which is this amazing 1970s TV. Check it out. So because this is a My Mate Vince channel, obviously we're going to be connecting up stuff to it that you wouldn't normally do, such as the Xbox One X, PlayStation 4 Pro, Nintendo Switch and a gaming PC as well, just to see what it looks like. Will you do this yourself? Of course not. Xbox One X, you're going to want a 4K TV, or at the very least a 1080p TV. Not a TV that's 40 years old, but still, for novelty value, it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because I recently passed over the 100,000 subscribers mark, and that was a milestone I've been trying to beat for quite a few years now. So I'm very happy with that, and it's a thank you to all those subscribers that have given me the support at the beginning, through the early days, and also recently as well. You know I really appreciate it. So with this now, this TV was designed in 1970, and as you can probably tell, it's inspired by a spaceman's helmet. So in 1969 we had the moon landing, and then for the next few years after that, everything was kind of moon crazy. So this was designed in 1970 and it was to put into production in 1974. So you're looking at a TV that could be up on 43 years old. It was also in production until the very early 1980s. So on average, this TV will probably be about 40 years old because I don't know how to date it. Now, if you look at it, believe it or not, this was actually designed as a portable TV. So not only can you swivel it around to any part of the room, you can also power it by a 12-volt supply from a cigarette lighter from a car, or when it was made to begin with, you also had a rechargeable battery pack that you used to then have the chance to bring it down to a beach. So you might be wondering, how do you get this connected up to modern day equipment? Well, all of the equipment that I'm using here uses HDMI, and obviously this TV doesn't. This TV doesn't use composite, S-video. It uses none of that stuff because it wasn't invented back then. What it does use is an aerial. It hasn't even got an RF outputs like the the coaxial ones that you plug in. That's all we've got here. So it was a bit of a challenge to get it working, but it is actually very simple to do. So let me take you through how to set it up, and then we're going to turn it on and see what it looks like. So for example, from the Nintendo Switch you're going to have a HDMI out. The HDMI out is going to go into the input of this HDMI to AV converter. This is going to convert it to composite, which is yellow, white and red, even though this lead here is yellow, black and red. From here I need to then convert it to RF. Now, with older TVs, a lot of them still do have AV connections, but when you get to the really old TVs, they don't. So to convert it to RF, I've actually used an old video recorder. So I've got the AV going in here, and then on the video recorder, I've then just got an aerial coming out of it, an RF, that one there coming out of it. And from this one, I had to get this to go into the TV. So there probably is proper adapters you can get to do this, but all I did is I stripped back the cable, so this is just a normal aerial cable that you get. I cut back the end of it, and then I've soldered on the central conductor to one part of the aerial there, and then I've done the braiding to the other part of the aerial, and it does actually work pretty well. You probably can, if you knew what you were doing, buy converters that go from RF to this connector here, but I think because they're going to be so rare, they probably stopped making them 20 odd years ago. Now looking at this TV here, you see you've got this amazing handle with it. So the idea was that you could put a hook on your ceiling and then you could hook it up and have it dangling round. This TV, it wasn't cheap when it came out, but it was kind of designed for young go-getters or also kids to have in their bedroom. So it was never designed to be like a main TV in a living room. So if you're interested in the TV, just look up JVC Videosphere and you can see that it has actually appeared in quite a few films over the years because it is so iconic looking. Right now, so basically let's get started. I think we'll start with the Nintendo Switch because most of my subscribers are probably here because of the Nintendo Switch. So what I've done is, because I've got numerous things connected up to here, I've actually put it through a HDMI switch first of all, so I don't have to keep unplugging and plugging in leads. So at the moment I've got my HDMI coming out of the Nintendo Switch and it goes into input 1. So I'm on input 1 at the moment. Now with this TV here, it's black and white, we've got volume here, we've got contrast, and we've also got brightness. So I'm going to turn it on. And you're going to see we just have that noise. Right, let me just get this nice and level. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to turn this knob at the top, and this is basically how we're tuning it in. So hopefully eventually now it should, there we go, it should come to the Nintendo Switch. Let me just get out of that. Right, I'm just going to sort of fine tune that a bit. Okay, and let's get the volume so it's not quite as hummy. That doesn't sound too bad. Right, okay, I'm going to get this now on a tripod so we can have a good look at this. Okay, so to adjust the contrast, it's this one here. Now I'm going to put it around there. And to adjust the brightness is this one here. Okay, now what I want to do is, as you can see, it's slightly off the screen at the moment, so I'm just going to change the screen size. So go down to System Settings, TV Output, Adjust Screen Size, and let me just bring that down a bit. Okay, so that looks right. 95%. There we go. Now I've got the full screen size there. Right, let's have a look at what a game looks like. Let's go to Mario Kart. Right, I don't think we've got any volume on it. Hold on. There we go. Check that out. Do you know, although it's black and white, it does still look good. Look at it. And although really it's just a gimmick because it is just a flat screen in there, so it's not rounded, it just looks good. And you've got to remember now that if this is like 43 years old, you've got to think about what was out at that time. And imagine the kids then, when Pong hadn't even come out and the arcade, imagine the kids being able to play something like this on there. Their mind would have been blown. Right, let's go to Grand Prix. And for some reason, there's only one speaker, but it sounds good. And it's pretty cool that it's got the headphone jack on it as well. So of course it looks much better in colour, but there's something nice about it in black and white. And although the TV looks old now, you can imagine if it was pure white instead of that gone off yellow colour, how nice it would look. Right, I suppose we better leave it there because we've got plenty of others to get through. But that is the Nintendo Switch on it. Now if you do see that black line there, that is nothing to do with what you can see in real life. You can see when I move the camera up and down, it comes and goes. So I'm not quite sure. That must be something to do with the refresh rate, why that happens. Right, okay, now we're going to get our input selector here, and let's go over to, I think we'll try the Xbox next. Let's try a bit of Forza 7 on the Xbox. So we're going to go to input, I think that's input 4. Oh, look at this. Right, let me go to... There we go, look at that. Let's see how the super sampling works going all the way down to here. So I don't even know what resolution this TV is, but I suppose through RF is it only going to be the equivalent of something like 240p or something like that. I don't fully understand the resolutions on the older CRT TVs. Right, okay, let's go to here. Sounds good, it pumps out quite a bit of sound as well for such a small TV. Now, it looks much better without the bass. If you can imagine now, if that was just hanging in midair like that, you can see how good it looks. probably should have chosen a different car. What I've done is with this car I think I've put over 800 horsepower in it, so it's really fast in a straight line, but it just doesn't go around corners. But there you go, you get the idea of that one now. Forza 7 on something so old. I think I can safely bet that this TV has never seen anything like this before in its life. Let's do a different view. I think we leave it there, I really can't play that. Right, okay. So that's what the Xbox looks like. Look through a few of the menus. Looks nice. Good thing about this is when you do put it back onto your proper TV, you're really going to appreciate how nice the colours and everything are on it then. Right, let's have a look at the PlayStation. Let's do PlayStation 4 Pro. So with this one here, slightly different. We've had to put it through a splitter first because otherwise it wouldn't work on this TV. That's the only difference. It just has to go through a splitter to get it to work. Otherwise it just kept cutting out. But what we're going to do is go to input 3. And now it should be, I think it might have turned itself off. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Give it a few seconds to kick back in again. There we are. Now, out of all of them, this one doesn't look quite as nice because we haven't got any of that blue background, and the menu looks kind of boring without the blue background. But still. Right, let's have a look at Horizon Zero Dawn. If you don't have an old video recorder, you can actually buy adapters that convert AV to RF. So it's not a problem, it's just that rather than buying an adapter, I already had an old video recorder, or you know, you can pick up video recorders now for very little money from places like charity shops that sell electrical goods. So I've read that video recorder will do a better job when converting from AV to RF rather than those adapters that you get from China for like, you know, £5 or £10. I don't know because I've only used a video recorder, but it definitely does work as well as you would expect it to work. Now there we go, look at that. It does look, you can even see, look, little bits falling down from the sky. That looks so nice, look at that. You've got to admit, it looks pretty good for a TV that is on average 40 years old, could be as old as 43. Or approaching 44 depending on when it was released. Right, okay. Let's just have a little run around. You know, the black and white does look nice. It is a shame the TV isn't colour then. I suppose, I don't know whether it was a cost thing or whether they were able to make colour TVs so small. I know colour TVs were definitely out then, but whether they came in such a small size, I'm not sure. Maybe they were too expensive. But even still, it is very clear. Right, okay, let's leave it there. Right, now, last but not least, I'm going to show you the PC. And I'm looking forward to this one because it's going to be, I'm going to put Cupheads on, which I think will fit in perfectly with the TV. As you can see, this is Windows 10 here. Let's have a little look at, I put on Netflix earlier. Let's have a little look at Despicable Me. Let's just make it big.
Alright, we need to revisit the number of vacation days you guys get. I can't find anybody anymore.
I have my friend Shannon here with me. I was thinking you two could get some grub, you know, tear it up, see what happens.
Yeah, so as you can see, it doesn't look quite as nice when you're watching it in black and white. Okay, let's see, let's have a look at Cupheads. Let's get out of this. Cupheads. Right. Oh, look at that. The music and everything is going to fit in with this TV. How nice is that? So on a game like this now, it looks like it was made for a TV like this. Right, let's just show you a bit of gameplay. Let's just go on to the first level.
Here we go.
So on a game like this, although it is lovely in colour, it's also nice in black and white as well. There we go, so as you can see, loads of different things working on this 40-year-old TV. So that concludes this video. Once again, thank you to all of you that have subscribed over the past few years. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed, please think about doing so. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and take care. Thank you so much. Bye now.